Oh, interesting. Is it like, oh, is this just your servers? They're grayed out? Hmm. Maybe ping me after this if you're still having that problem. I can take a look and see if there's anything weird on my end. Um, Basically, what that happens, your game will show them as grayed out until the game itself is able to like ping the server. So your game is trying to, which is weird. Like if you're able to join them, it means like you think you should be able to ping them. But basically, the game will go through the list and it'll get the list of servers from the master server, and then it'll go through and try to like ping all the servers, and that's when they turn white. So it's weird if you're not able to ping them, but you can join them. I'm not. Yeah. Huh. Strange. And yeah, there's rules too on like. I mean, you can look through the code, but see, it tries to like spread everything out where it, pings things and then waits a little bit. Obviously, I don't want like every game out there sending pings to every server out there, so it's like it tries to like stagger them and be smart about it. Yeah, Mel, it sounds like maybe it's just your sound. I think other people can hear me. Can anyone else not hear me? I guess I shouldn't be telling Mel that if he can't hear me.
Hello, when I try to start Bomb Squad in another account, the cell phone tells me that I have to start from Google Play. I enter with my other account and it does not access.
Huh. Yeah, who's using text to speech? That's crazy. Can you just type that there? I'm trying to remember exactly what it said. Some Google Play. Yeah, maybe just type it in chat. I'll have to think about that for a second, what you could be running into. I feel like I'm watching one of those YouTube videos with like the text to speech overlays. Oh, here we go. All right, I'll match my photo. Wait, I guess it was actually. Oh yeah, that's my my Ratatouille posters in the background. I'm still waiting for that to come back. It's getting framed, but so I can't quite match it. That's maybe close. So my coffee cup today, I have a new coffee cup. This is, if you remember, I worked on those zombie gunship games with my friends for a little while back in like 2015. So this was a coffee cup we got for one of those. So this is Zombie Gunship Incorporated, actually. The game had a different name before it came out. If you go play the game now, it's called Zombie Gunship Survival. But the original kind of working name was Zombie Gunship Incorporated because it was like you're building up like a little base or squad or something. So so anyway, yeah, that's my coffee cup for a game that doesn't technically exist. I'm going to be like running out of coffee cups in the next few weeks. I don't have an exceptionally large number of coffee cups, so I'll have to start reusing some. Oh, it's working? Cool, good. All right. So I guess we can just get started. I feel like this is always the same. I always start off by saying I don't really have anything to talk about. But yeah, this week will just be kind of another update on what I've been up to, and then we can just do more questions, or if we want to do live coding or something like that, I'll leave it up to people. But just as an update on what I've been up to is basically just kind of finishing. I'm happy to say I'm basically done with, I think, the V2 account stuff. So the last little update I put out the other day was, if you check it out, it should be in announcements here. There is, oh wow, this little mini thing. There's stuff like this, which is if you have a V2 account, like if you've upgraded your account to the fancy new shiny V2 stuff, and you still have like old V1 links to that account, this will, like the latest version, like 1.7.17, it should give you this little option that lets you unlink your old V1 links. Because old V1 links basically don't behave right. There's a whole explanation for it. It also shows, if you go into the Ballistica account settings up here on ballistica.net and then go into linked logins, it'll show you a little bit little info about it here if you have old accounts. And then you can poke learn how, and it'll show you, that'll take you to a little page kind of like giving you way too many nerdy details on, I don't remember the URL, but what are, oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so it'll take you to this page kind of telling you like the reason that you want to upgrade your account links to V2 links. So basically that means if you have a V2 account and there's old accounts linked to it, ideally if you unlink all those old accounts and then just use like the V2 account linking, which is, if you go into your account settings, it's under here, like under manage linking. And so, this is where you can come in for your other account, get a link code, and then use that to link different logins to point to your one V2 account that you want to keep. Anyway, long story long, yeah, that should be all the last piece should be in place where this lets you get rid of your old V1 accounts. So you can set up your nice V2 account, get all your different devices. Basically, there's only two types of V2 accounts right now. So there's the Google Play V2 login, or logins, I should say. There's Google Play, and then there's email password. So really, if you're setting up linking, technically those are the only two that you can link together right now. But that still is handy to have. Like, most people playing the game are going to be playing Google Play, just because that's what you get by default. But then it's also kind of nice to have a email password in there also, because then it makes it easier to sign in just directly on the web or on another device. If you want to play on PC or Linux or something, you can just use your email password account. So anyway, all that stuff is in place. So I think V2 accounts should be finally in a pretty good place. So now for the rest of this week, I'm basically just going to be focused on like squashing bugs and making everything perform better and smoothly, and getting rid of those like server warnings that I'm having and things like that. What about my Mac? Bomb Squad is wanting me to upgrade, but I don't wanna. What do you mean by wanting you to upgrade? Is it saying like upgrade your device account, or what do you mean by upgrade? Okay. When I try to start Bomb Squad in another account from a cell phone, it tells me I have to start from... I'm curious, what do you mean it tells you have to start from Google Play? Could you make a screenshot or a screen capture of that or something? I'm not quite sure what you're running into. So upgrading a device account is totally safe. Like if you upgrade a device account, it doesn't touch your, like it'll basically just give you like an email password way.
Oh. Later. Could you give me the answer in the chat, please?
Oh.
I'm from Peru. That's why I use the translator.
Oh, okay.
Could you give me the answer in the chat, please? I'm from Peru.
Okay. I'm not. All right. There. I hope that helps. All right. Where were we? It's like three things I'm trying to do at once here. My bad. Oh yeah, if you upgrade your device account will still be there. You can still use it. It doesn't change anything. All it does is it gives you another way to access that account with an email password using a V2 login. So basically, you can still use your device account after that. It'll keep warning you that you should upgrade it, even if you've already upgraded it. Sorry about that, but just ignore that. In the future, maybe I can make it smarter to where like if you've already upgraded your account, maybe it won't bug you, but then again, maybe it should bug you because like it's better to log in with your email password, even in that case. So anyway, what I'm saying is don't be worried about upgrading your account. It's completely non-destructive. So it's still linked. Yeah, your device account and your V2, your upgraded V2 account, those are pointing at the exact same data. So, if you sign in with your device account and you unlock stuff, and then you go sign in with your upgraded V2 account, you'll see those same unlocks. It's all the same data on the server. So like I said, you're not going to like lose access to your device account when you upgrade it. If you don't upgrade, nothing. It just gives you that annoying warning. Maybe I'll add like a "Don't show me again" button, but I do kind of want to annoy people into eventually upgrading, because at some point, like the device account option will go away. So I do want to kind of gently push people to get stuff upgraded. I'm still kind of thinking about the option of, having something like a device account for V2 accounts, but I'm still not quite sure on that. Something where like you don't have to sign up with an email password. It just like automatically signs you into an account of some sort. The downside of that is that, that sort of thing can be used for, like bots and stuff like that if we're not careful. So I definitely want to be a little cautious about that. That's the nice thing about like having the email password thing, is at least it makes sure that, I guess it doesn't make sure that people are real, but
screenshot in chat.
What? Screenshot?
It won't let me send screenshot in chat.
Oh, yeah, maybe try, just email support@friendling.net, and I'll check it out and try to help you. So yeah, so sorry for the nagging about upgrading, but again, I could consider backing off on that, or we could have like a some sort of option or something, or some way that you could like write a value to your config to say like, stop nagging me about my device account. I don't plan on removing device accounts anytime soon. I just kind of, I want to start pushing people towards getting everything upgraded to a V2 account, but it's not like something where I plan to remove device accounts like next week or something like that. They'll be around for at least, I have no idea, until there's not any strong reason to rely on V2 accounts yet. But there will probably start to be stuff like, if I can get like a beta version of Squad's system in there, like that will require a V2 account. So if you're signed in with a device account, you'll probably get an error or something. So that might be the best way to do it, is to give people like better reasons to upgrade, like upgrade so you can use this cool thing. That's what the Squad system is. So like, me, parties and friend lists. That's the Squad system, which is planned for version 1.9. But I'd like to get like a beta version of it, or a test version of it going sooner than that. That's basically, it'd be almost like a different mode of the game, where you're playing fully online with a squad of people. So, you have a list of friends, maybe you can easily invite them to your squad or join their squad or whatever. As I mentioned before, it's a lot like other games like Fortnite, things like that, where you join up with a few friends and then you play against other groups, or maybe you play a co-op game with the four of you or whatever. So it'll just be kind of like a redesigned experience. It's still the same game, but like a redesigned experience which focuses on like online play more so. As I said, there'll still probably be co-op and things like that. Like if you want to get together with friends and play against the computer or whatever, that should still be doable. But it should be a lot easier to do like competitive 3-on-3 and 4-on-4 type matches that way. Yeah, I'm calling the new system Squads, just to kind of, because the old one was called a party. So the Squad system is just kind of a way to differentiate it from the existing stuff. But yeah, we could rename it. Once it's done, we could call that party, and then call the old one Legacy Party. I don't know. It's weird because like the party system that's in there right now, it's basically all you're doing is joining a server. So it's really like you're joining a game. It probably shouldn't be called parties. It's just like, join a game. The new party system will be more like a layer on top. It'll be like this is your group of friends that is staying together, and all of you are joining games together, or stuff like that. So it's, if you made like a diagram of it, it would look different. Party V2. Yes, we have so many V2 things. People are going to be tired of hearing V2 everywhere. At some point, hopefully, there will be fewer V2s plastered on things. Like once everyone kind of transitions to V2 accounts, then we can stop calling them V2 accounts. They'll just be accounts. But it's kind of, I don't know.
I already sent it.
Oh. Sorry if you say something in chat and I miss it. I apologize. You already said it twice now. Well, the V1 party stuff won't be going away. As I mentioned before, like my plan for the game is like this screen will probably not be different at all. Like the classic bomb squad screen, there will probably just be like a different screen for like squads mode. Like the gather screen and all this stuff. This is all geared towards basically people joining, having a single server and people join that server specifically. Squads mode will be more, like I said, more high level. It's like you're joining a group of friends and that group of friends joins servers together and stuff. So a bit of a different concept. But this stuff this screen will probably be called like Bomb Squad Classic, I think, or something. Like this will all stay exactly as it is. And this will be used for like local multiplayer and, like joining custom servers and, all the stuff it's used for already. Squads mode will just be for that one particular type of play, which will probably eventually be the default, but not for a while. And I mean, I can keep thinking about it. Maybe it would make sense to kind of evolve this to support squads, but like all of this stuff, like joining servers here, this is fundamentally different than squads. Like we wouldn't want, like joining one of these servers as a squad wouldn't really make sense. Because these servers are more like you just jump in the middle of a game that's running and jump out and, it's kind of chaos. But squads mode, it'll be more like the cloud, the master server will spin up a game just for your squad. Like it'll find two squads, match them together and be like, okay, these two squads are going to play a capture the flag. And then the server will spin up, the master server will spin up a game specifically for that. Those squads will join the game, you'll play the game, and then that game will get spun down. So it's like it's like this higher level thing where it's like creating and destroying games dynamically, as opposed to this, which is kind of a static list of games. And I think there's uses for both, but I don't know if there'd be like one. I don't know if there'd be a way to like adapt this into a squads type thing. So my plan is to kind of keep them separate for now. And we can have a big debate on like what we want to name it or something. I don't want to make any like hard decisions. I just want to get something kind of in there and working, like a beta version of it, and we can like experiment with it and see how it feels, and call what we want to call it and things like that. So it'll be kind of we'll make it up as we go. It'll be fun. It's weird, like the original, it's kind of weird calling that the section in here gather. Because basically right now all you're doing is joining other games. But when this originally happened, when I originally made this, there were some tabs in here where like you would invite friends. So like there was the Google Play tab where you'd like invite a friend to join your party essentially. So it wasn't always like you weren't always joining a game. It was sometimes like you're getting friends to join you. So it was a little bit like ambiguous. So that's why I called it gather, because like sometimes you're inviting friends and not joining. I guess it could have just been called online, but it's not even always online either. There's like the LAN section too. So it's like, I'm not sure what the best name for that would be. It's basically just, and it's not just multiplayer, because you can play, if you go into like Teams or whatever, you can just play multiplayer with multiple people connected directly to the game. So yeah, it was tricky deciding like what to call this section. But yeah, that's the thing too. It's been there for so long, people are used to it. That's kind of why I don't want to change any of this stuff, and why I kind of want to just have like a separate screen for like squads mode, And then this stuff will just be completely what people are used to, and it won't change. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning. There was a Google Play tabs in Gather. So there was, yeah, like one of these was Google Play. Unfortunately, Google stopped supporting that particular library. So that's why I had to remove it at some point. I feel like, unfortunately, Google has a reputation for like, killing projects. And unfortunately, that happened with their multiplayer stuff. So I had to get rid of it. In general, over the years, I've kind of stopped using things like that. I feel like things that are specific to one platform, or, I'm trying to do as much as possible in like as general a way as possible. So, having like all these tabs work the same on all platforms, like nothing here is, specific to Android or specific to Linux or Mac or Windows or anything like that. So I'm trying to avoid platform-specific stuff because, for one, it only reaches like some percentage of the game. Like I'd rather spend my time on stuff that's going to reach everybody. I mean, Google's not bad. I like Google. I'm using them I'm still using Google Tech for both master servers actually. So I'm leaning on Google quite a bit. And of course, the biggest version of the game is Google Play on Android. So like there's definitely a lot of Google technology involved in the game here. It's just that one particular their Google Play games multiplayer networking, whatever it was called, like that didn't survive, sadly. But it was also like a good reason to get going on, like squads mode and things. I got private party hosting working in response to that. So the private party hosting is basically the first thing that uses like my cloud servers. So when you're, if you come in here and set this up, basically that just spun up a cloud server, like using the same system that will work for the squad system. So this was kind of like a fun first step getting that working. But yeah, right now Google Play is totally the main game. There is, I don't actually keep track of how many like PC and Linux and Mac players are out there right now. Actually, to get on a side note, that's one of the next things on my to-do list is I need to revisit like the Mac version and I think the Oculus, the VR version. I want to get those up to date because those are currently stuck on 1.4, and so it's only V1 accounts. So I would like to like slowly move everybody everywhere to V2 accounts, so which means I need to upgrade those versions. Like if you go to the Mac App Store, I'm on a Mac right now. If I go to the App Store, bam, squig. Here we are. Version history 4 years ago, version 1.4.141. Oh, geez. Yeah. My bad. So I need to get that updated. What's actually it's mostly my bad. I submitted a version of 1.5 or 1.6 to the store and I got rejected because there's a technical reason. Like the library I'm using, SDL, I'm using it for like input and certain things like that. I'm using an older version of SDL and it pops up some requests saying like it requests like access to hardware or something. It pops up some like scary request dialog and Apple rejected it for that. So I need to upgrade to a newer version of SDL which doesn't have that scary request dialog, and then Apple will probably accept it. So yeah, I definitely want to do that now that V2 accounts are done. I want to get the world on V2 accounts. So also 1.4 is just ridiculously old at this point. So poor people shouldn't be looking at those ugly Python 2.7 scripts. Error message is scary because it's red. Oh no. Yeah, I try to use red for any errors that, well, most errors really, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just means it's an error. Maybe I should make a standard like orange for errors that aren't super scary. I don't know. I was reading, I don't know if this is true. I was reading in China, like red is a good color. Like I think most of the world, or at least what I'm used to, when you see red, it means like an error message. But I was reading like some places like China, red is actually like a happy color, to where like sometimes it causes weird cultural disconnects or something. Like if you see a red message pop up, it's like, oh, hooray. But that's wrong. Maybe I read the wrong thing. What V2 accounts? What V2 accounts are. It's basically, it just means, it's just like a revamped account system. It doesn't, it means the accounts are living on like my new server instead of my old server. Like the V1 server is, the V1 master server is something I wrote in 2011. It's like it's a really old server at this point. And the account system, everything is very like, it's entrenched and it's not changing, and I don't want to touch it because I don't want to break anything. But in order to do a lot of the new stuff that we're going to be doing, like the squad system and things that require like real-time interaction, like push notifications, certain things like that, like they require the V2 account system because it's just newer and shinier and has better tech. Like for V2 accounts, the game always basically has a live connection to a V2 account server, which means we'll be able to do things like send friend invites to any game and they'll be received instantly and stuff like that, or like joining squads and inviting people to squads and chat messages and things like that. We can do instant communication. So that's the big like technical difference with V2 accounts. So that's why I'm trying to get everyone, upgrading their account to a V2 account so that we can start using features like that, the squad system, party, or inviting friends, things like that. Those will only work for people that are running V2 accounts. I hope that helps. But yeah, friends, chat, all that. So probably the first probably beta test build of it will probably be nothing but like friends. It'll just probably be like an empty screen with a chat window, and like you can invite friends and chat, and that'll be all going through the V2 account layer. Which will be cool because right now, whenever you chat, basically it's just going through the game. Like if you're connected to a game server, any chatting you're doing, you're sending chat messages to that game server. So the people who see those chat messages are just the people that are also connected to that server. But with the squad system using the V2 account stuff, it'll be a completely different thing. So you'll have like you'll have your squad that you can talk to all the time, and that's completely independent from the game that you're in. Which means you can invite people into your squad, and then you can all join and leave games together. So because the chat messages no longer are dependent on a game. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, V2 is probably once they become more common, we'll just start calling them bomb squad accounts, or they're Ballistica accounts technically. I wasn't sure what to call it because it's the accounts are set up on ballistica.net, Ballistica is just the name of like the engine kind of and like the general project. Right now Ballistica is only used for Bomb Squad, but if we do any other spin-off type games, they would also use Ballistica, and they would also use the same account. So if you create one of these accounts and say we make like a Bomb Squad AR or some other spin-off game or some completely different game, who knows? Like let's say the mini penguins thing becomes super popular. Like we love the mini penguins once we add that. And so what if we make a game just about the mini penguins? Then your same account will still work for that game. That's the plan. Because I don't want to have to deal with making like multiple accounts for people and stuff like that. I'd rather just like you set up your account once and that's all. We can have different data for different games or whatever, but I'd rather like I'm trying to keep things contained, or I don't want to spread myself too thin and worry about like, oh, there's like a Bomb Squad account, but then there's also a Penguin Wars account, and then but this one behaves a little different than this one. It's like, no, I'd rather have like one account. Oh yes. This reminds me. I need to get this going, and yeah, like I will probably start to like flag people as moderators. So right now there's in Bomb Squad or Ballistica accounts, there's basically just like normal users and admins. I am the only admin. You can see admins get cool extra toys like this, like the fleets section that shows all like the regional servers and things that are running, and other stuff I've built for myself. But I also want to have like moderators. So I'll probably maybe a lot of people that hang around in this server can just be made moderators, and that'll give you the power to like flag account names or account tags as offensive or different things like that, or kick people out of. Yeah, we'll see. We can add powers. But I definitely want to start to come up with some sort of moderation system, because I'm sure there's already plenty of people with bad V2 names. And I can't really, I mean, there's different like offensive names in different languages and things like that. So like I don't think I can make an exhaustive list of names that shouldn't be allowed. And people always find ways around them, like using an I instead of or using a 1 instead of an I, things like that. So I'd rather kind of just come up with like a moderation system. And yeah, if some of you don't mind being moderators, that could be super cool. We'll have to start like planning that too, like what powers we want moderators to have or whatever. This is like forming a government. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, right now, like people who do own servers, you should be able to like filter chat, and I don't know if I guess it's probably not trivial to like filter usernames. I guess you can kick users with offensive names. Like all that kind of stuff should be possible now. It's not probably the easiest to do, but it should be possible. But this is more like, the stuff I'm talking about is more like just, if you see an account, like someone who's registered a name that's offensive, or just people that are being offensive in general, we might want ways to just like flag those users. Yeah, I mean, people always come up with similar words. So to where like I think a human moderator is like the only thing that can work. Like if someone has obviously come up with a name that is intended to be, remind you of another word, you could flag that one. Or yeah, I guess we should just have a meeting of that here with people here. Like come up with a set of rules or something, like what do we want to allow for names or not. And then yeah, it brings up other questions too, like is it based on language or anything like that? Like if there's a word that's like offensive in one language but it's totally not in another, like do we allow that word and for people with their language set to a certain language? But then people would use that as a workaround, they'd like switch their language to something else, but maybe like based on the region you're in or something. I know, like with V2 tags, I limited tags to, very basic. If you come in, like tag rules, it's very limited right now. Only A to Z and numbers, 1 to 10 characters, starts with a letter. This part's not actually happening yet, but this is kind of what we're talking about now. But I'm sure, there's still plenty of curse words people can come up with. Possible to change the V2 icon and joystick icon? Like change it to that? Or, I mean, the plan is that once everyone migrates to V2 accounts, like basically once everybody has this icon, then we can kind of start to cut off V1 accounts, and then we can do something different with this icon. We can make, like maybe people could choose a few different icons or something like that, or... That's a good question, because it's like we still want it to be recognizable as like this is the name of an account, and so icons kind of help with that. But it could be fun to let people customize it. I mean, we could just do something boring like the bomb squad icon or something. Yeah, maybe global icons. Of course, like this is definitely something to think about, because we don't want it to get mixed up with like global player profiles, which are still around. So. Yeah, we'll have to think about that. How did you come up with the idea of making V2 accounts? I mean, it was more like a technical necessity. Is like I knew that I knew that we wanted like the squad system. I knew that we wanted, to be able to like invite people to games and, do that kind of stuff. And there's like technical things that you need for that. Like I was mentioning, you need to be able to basically accounts need to be able to like talk to, well, yeah, like you need to be able to like push messages live to other people playing the game. So there's certain technical things like that that had to happen, and so that kind of required me to set up like a whole new kind of server system, which and part of the, I guess another big reason for moving things to V2 accounts is wanting to have unique names. Like that was a big thing. So one problem with V1 accounts is basically it gives you the name of the service you're using. So if you're signed in with Google Play Games and your Google Play player name is like Efro, you'll be Efro on there. But if someone else is signed in on with Steam or something and their Steam name is Efro, like they would also be Efro. So one thing I wanted is to have like unique names in the game. So if you reserve a name, people know that it's you playing the game. So we don't have like 4 different Efros just depending on where they're connected from. And some of those services, like I don't know, does Steam reserve? Like I don't know if all those services even like require you to have a unique username. So basically, the point was like one big feature of V2 accounts is unique usernames, so that if you start to build a reputation, or maybe you start to like make plugins or mods or something like that, they can start to be like tagged with your name, so that so you can just kind of like build up a reputation for yourself, or we'll know who is who, basically. So that was the name thing was a large motivator for it, and then like the technical reasons, like I said, was another one. So originally my hope was to kind of just upgrade V1 accounts and like add those features, but I mean that's essentially what we're doing. Like you have to upgrade your account anyway. Like we would have had to make people like upgrade their name to be a unique name if we just left one V1 accounts, but we're essentially doing that. We're also adding some requirements like getting rid of device accounts and things like that. But in general, it's just kind of like evolving the account system. It's not like a completely different thing. So I hope that somewhat answers the question. It was kind of a good opportunity to kind of just make some design fixes, I guess. I know it's a little bumpy right now, like having to do this whole like upgrading thing and untagging, or like unlinking and relinking and all that. But I think we'll get over that hump. I think all the pieces are in place now, and we will get over this hump soon, and it'll just be like this will just be the normal accounts, and I think everything is going to be in a better place. Playing someone the same name. Yeah, there's. I should mention this doesn't like 100% guarantee. Like if you're a server owner, there's nothing that stops you from like editing the Python code to say that you are like, oh, I'm Efro, and like display a V2 icon by it, because it's just Unicode. They're just like custom emojis basically. So people will be able to like hack their V1 servers to make themselves look like V2 players. So I shouldn't say this guarantees that you'll never see someone with a fake V2 icon. But for things like squads mode and stuff like that, like you should never, in cases like that, you should never see a fake V2 player. Or if you're looking at like, official online lists like score lists and things like that, there should be a lot of places where it'll be impossible to fake a V2 name. Well, so the problem is, in order for anyone else to see the icon, you have to share it. So you're saying like, make a custom icon, but never allow anyone else to use it. But in order for the game to display it to the user, in order for like you to see it, like it has to be in the game, So if it's in the game, it's basically. I mean, I guess technically it would be possible. Like we could have the game like look at every string, like every text string that goes through the game, and like filter that icon out, except for like my official servers. Which, I mean, that's an option. Like if this sort of thing becomes a problem on like V1 servers, we could do some simple filtering like that. Are links allowed? Here's what do you mean by link? Oh yeah, I mean, feel free to link to whatever. It's like, is this Rickroll? Oh yes. It's funny how much like Google Google Plus stuff is still in the game. There's things are like still called like G Plus or Google Plus from way back in the day. Even though, yeah, like the Google Plus stuff evolved into like the Google Play Games stuff, so like the icons changed. But yeah, I think some of the names are still like G Plus or Google Plus or something. And it's funny to see like there's some of the old custom icons in the game. There's still, I mean, they get used in the Discord server here too, like the Ouya icons and things. Like Ouya has been gone for a while now. It'd be funny if the game lasts another like 20 years or something, still seeing like these, like, oh, remember this icon from this thing that existed 30 years ago? It'd be like having like an Atari 2600 icon in like a game right now. Change character profiles to my drawn ones. There should be tutorials out there about how to kind of like hack your own media or like asset files into the game. As I've mentioned many times though, this will all be like that. That's the big goal for 1.8 is to like make this like revamp that system so it's all like cloud based, so that when you're hacking around on stuff like that, you'll be using like this sort of thing, like the asset packages section of the Ballistica portal. At least that's what I'll be using. So hopefully other people will be able to use it too. It should still be possible probably to like directly hack the game itself and like stuff files in there and have the game load them. We'll have to see how that interacts with cloud stuff. Like I would like for it to be as easy as possible for people to just like mess around with the local artwork and override textures and things like that. Like even if it doesn't show up that way for other players of the game, like that should be easy, I think. Oh, I don't plan on any of this stuff to be pro features like asset packages. There might, I mean, I should rephrase that. There may be some limitations on it. Like I probably need to add some limitations right now. I haven't checked like workspaces. There's currently not technically any limitations. So please don't abuse this, but like right now, if you come into a workspace, you can just keep adding files forever. I don't think there's any limit to like how much you can store in a workspace. So someone could probably like, rename all the files on their computer to end in .py and upload them all to a workspace and use this as like personal backup, if they were really ambitious. But please don't do that. But at some point, I probably need to add like limits to, like how big a workspace could get. Or if you're at some point if you're creating asset packages, like there'll probably be some limit like how many asset packages you can create, unless maybe you've unlocked the equivalent of pro or something like that or whatever. So yeah, we'll have to see. I don't want to make any of this stuff like completely locked behind like pro sort of thing. As I mentioned, my philosophy going forward is I'd prefer, like, the game has to make money, but I'd prefer it to do that by, like, fun stuff like unlocking skins and things. And I'd prefer not to, like, lock people out of features, because I think the more fun features in the game, the more people will, like, want to play the game and, spread it to their friends and stuff. So I think it benefits me to not prevent people from doing that stuff. Yeah, I'd be happy to hop in a game towards the end of this. We should do that. We haven't done that in a while, so once we run out of questions, someone should host a game, even if it's over, in Europe or wherever, and I will get my butt kicked again because of lag, or because I'm just not as good as you all. Could you make it so even if you have someone's IP, you can't join their server? I mean, this is. I mean, yeah, we should do that. This is one of those things where, like, technically anyone could add that, or I mean, I guess not anyone, like, because that would have to exist on both like the server and the client side. That should have been in there a long time ago. I apologize for that. Like something like Like right now, yeah, people can basically bypass like the party system. If you know a server's IP, you can just like try to connect directly to the server, whereas everyone else has to like wait in line, and that's not fair. Um, I should have designed it better to where like the master server will give the person in the front of the line like some sort of like password or secret ticket or something that lets them join the server. Um, but I didn't do that, so like that would be a good thing to add, but it would be a bit of work. So I'm prioritizing like working on the squad stuff or moving things more on the like the V2 side. But if someone did want to like add that sort of feature in, basically at least just like a password system, if nothing else, um, then it wouldn't be too hard to do. I'd be happy to point you where in the code like that would need to happen. Um, it's just one of those things where it's like that's one of the things on my giant list that I just haven't gotten to. Oh, cool. Yeah, we should. Yeah, let's do that. You should host at the end of this, and we can play some cool sports mods. Do you have a publicly joinable server? I still need to get mods usable on cloud hosted servers, sadly. Cool. All right, so it's a plan. We'll do some cool sports mods at the end of this. Oh, okay, up here. How do you fund all this? Pro is only a one-time payment. Do people buy tickets? Yeah, some people buy tickets. Not too many, because there's admittedly not a ton of unlockable stuff in the game, and people can wind up unlocking a decent amount of it just from like getting tickets from achievements and other things. So like the game is not especially great at making money, but there's enough people out there that play the game that enough of them buy things that supports me. The game it's almost like half and half. Like half of the money is from ads. So any of you who watch ads, thank you. And the other half is from unlockables. So like Pro is the biggest thing, and then just a handful of like ticket packs and things that people buy. So yeah, I'd like to, as I said, for the squad system, I'd like to move more towards a system where there's more stuff to unlock, and hopefully that'll be more enticing for people to kind of unlock some stuff, and then I can like lean less on ads and have fewer restrictions with Pro and stuff like that, which that would make me happy. So we mentioned before like a lot of like Supercell games. Like I'm curious if other big mobile companies do this too. It seems like they make all their money from in-app purchases. It seems like ads are not as common, and at least in their games, like bigger companies, maybe other big companies use ads more, but yeah, for me it's like I rely 50% on ads and 50% on in-app purchases. Set up GitHub sponsor, please. Oh, yeah, I guess I could do that if people want to. I'll have to see how that works. I've seen that somewhere. Burr, 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 burr. I guess I'll have to dig for it a bit. But yeah, something like sponsorship, whatever. I know I'm always happy if people will just donate or something. I mean, like you don't have to buy something in the game. Feel free to. I'm not asking anyone to, but like on my blog site, I threw like a PayPal donate button in here. This is a little out of date, showing the Workspaces introduction from a while back. Is it? Oh yeah. So threw a donate button on there, and then the random merch things. So there's always little things. I'm trying to just like give some opportunities to make money, but the game makes enough money for me to pay rent, so I'm happy. I forgot who it was who pointed out that this merch page was actually like admin only. So for like 2 days after I made this merch page, like no one could access it. A few people finally pointed it out. So like I was the only one who could get merch, but I already have merch. But now it should be accessible to anyone, at least the people in these like 6 countries. I feel bad. There's only the merch stuff is limited to a handful of places, but hopefully we'll get more in the future. Because like none of Bomb Squad's like biggest countries are available here. So it's like we got Japan, UK, Germany, Spain, France, and Italy, and the US. But yeah, like let me see. Let's just go check. What are the biggest countries right now? I want to say it's India, I think, is still number 1. Oh yeah, India, Mexico, Brazil, Indonesia, Russia. So yeah, sorry, none of you can have merch, unfortunately. But I'd love to. Hopefully I can get that available there somehow, someday. But yeah, Mexico is kind of a newer one, but there's a lot of players in Mexico. You can see that too if I look on my little map thing, or if you go to what is my secret submarines? Let's check submarines. So checking out players here. Yeah, there's always like a cluster here in Mexico. It seems like there's quite a few, or just in South America in general. There's a decent amount of places playing. Unlike the poor U.S., there's still not a ton of U.S. players. Oh, what is this? Oh, that's probably Hawaii. I was thinking this was a submarine, but it looks like Hawaii. Do we have... Oh, there's a submarine. Oh, got a few submarines out today. This poor person is connecting... He's playing in Australia and connecting to Japan for some reason. Like, that can't be fast. Yeah, I'm still waiting... I'm still waiting on Amazon to open up some more stuff. Like, I have pretty much almost all the servers available that Amazon has right now. So, you know, a crap ton in the US that aren't really being used. This poor one down here in South America, Buenos Aires, is fighting for its life with a bajillion players. A few here. There's yeah, Amazon has opened... I know I show this map sometimes. Like, they've made a lot of these new ones available, like these purple ones that are popping up. But none of these like support the right instance type yet. So like I can't use... There's this one in Warsaw, I believe. Yeah, the one in Delhi, I think. I forgot where that one is. I think... Is that the Hong Kong one? There's some that I can use. But yeah, I'm still waiting on like several of these because they don't yet support T instances. So I'm still waiting on this silly asterisk here. Like Warsaw doesn't support them yet. Taipei doesn't support them yet. Muscat, Kolkata, Helsinki, Hamburg, Delhi, Copenhagen, Buenos Aires, Bangkok. So yeah, there's this whole list of like coming soon places. As soon as this switches from upcoming to available, then we will have like lots more servers. So hopefully maybe right after Christmas or something. We'll see. Kind of scary where you know my IP at any time. Oh, well, I mean, I don't actually have a way to look up anyone's IP right now. I'm trying to think. Like, do I have? I mean, I could add that, but I won't be creepy. Like, I could add a way to just see like, look up someone by an account and see like where that account last connected to or something. But yeah, I'm trying to be very privacy conscious with all that stuff. I don't want to like stalk people or anything like that. So yeah, this is like these green dots are just showing basically cities where people are connected from. Like this isn't showing like where your house is or anything like that. This is when people connect to the web server basically just it gives me like a city location. I mean, technically, yeah, it does have an IP, but I'm not looking at that stuff. It's just like I'm just plotting dots of like which cities are active at any time. So if anyone has any like legit security concerns with this, like if you're in the middle of nowhere and you're worried that like your city is appearing on the map, like please holler. I can make this page private or something. I just thought it was cool for people to see like what cities people are playing the game from. No, submarines is not on the homepage. Like I didn't want to advertise this too much. This is just kind of an Easter egg. But yeah, if you just go to ballistica.net/submarines, this will show you what cities are active. So just kind of a neat way to see like what people are, which countries are active at any given point. Starting to get more in Africa. Like there's a few little scattered ones here and there. I feel bad because they all have to connect to, forgot where that one is down at the bottom. There should be another one popping up like somewhere in this area, I think. In what order games start pinging server? I think it's complicated. The order that the game starts pinging the server. It finally worked. 4 minutes. Yeah, that's not good. It tries to be smart about it. Like it's I think it keeps a list. If I'm remembering correctly, it keeps a list. Like every time you get the server list, I want to say it keeps at least some of that server list, and it remembers like what the pings were, and then it'll generally like ping the same ones again, or at least the ones that are close to you. It tries to be smart about like pinging servers that aren't far from you more often than like it pings, servers at the other end of the planet. So maybe that system is not working right now for you or something like that. Like maybe your servers got put at the bottom of the list for pings or something. Like if you're seeing this happen predictably, like if it happens every time you start the game, like definitely let me know. We should look at it. But yeah, basically the game tries to be smart, and you can look at this logic if you want. It's just dive into the scripts. It's Python PA standard library. I think it's under UI. Gather stuff, and then that would be public tab. Just search for ping. So somewhere in here, ping thread. Okay, so yeah, there's like it launches a thread that just sits there and like pings games. So if you kind of dig into like what it's doing here, somewhere or other it gets a list of games from the server, and then it like puts them, it kind of like schedules them to get pinged. Yeah, here you can see like if this party has not been pinged yet, if it has no ping, then draw gray. Otherwise, draw with a lovely, oh yeah, I guess it, oh yeah. Oh wait, does it do this? Green for good pings, yellow or like orange for decent pings, and then red for bad pings. Is that right? You can tell I haven't looked at this code for a while. Anyway, yeah, I won't dig into it. It's fun. It's funny, like so much of the code for me, like there's so much code in the game, and I haven't looked at a lot of it in like years. So it's interesting looking through the code because it kind of feels like looking at someone else's code at this point, which is kind of good and kind of bad. I can kind of judge it like, oh, this is such crappy written code, or like, oh, this part was clever, or just because I, in a lot of cases, I completely don't, remember the details of writing it. But I find that can be useful sometimes. Like when you come back and look at something with fresh eyes, it's a little bit like some obvious problems become obvious. Just like, oh, this should have been done this other way or whatever. So if I ever redo it, it kind of helps. Anyway, I won't dig too much into that right now. Yeah, it prioritizes like if it pings a server and it gets a really high ping, it will then like put the server, it will not ping that server again for a while, because again I have all the servers, every Bomb Squad server all over the world is in the same list, and so technically everyone who opens the game and shows that list is going to ping like every server everywhere in the world. So it's like I definitely want to be smart about not having that happen too often, because also I don't want like games that are running to be overwhelmed with like ping packets coming in. So that's why like if it pings a game and if it has like a crappy ping like 300, it won't ping it again for a while, because it's like most likely this game is in another country and I don't care about it, so it'll generally not ping that game for maybe like another minute or two. So there could be weird cases where maybe like if your internet was bad for a moment, like it maybe got bad pings for all these and then decided like, oh, these are probably far away, I shouldn't ping them again for like 2 minutes. So there could be explanations for why this sort of thing would happen. Oh, you don't hear me? Everyone else still hear me? I assume so, or I hope so. Okay, cool. So I'm as I said, I'm in a pretty good place where I think account stuff, the V2 account stuff, is pretty much all done, which makes me happy because it's very important for squads and all the things moving forward, but it's not like exciting code to write. It's kind of like boring account related boring stuff. So I'm happy to have all that done, and now it's just like I still need to get things smoothed out and get it all like performing optimally and all that, but then it'll be moving on to more fun stuff, like maybe getting a beta version of squads going, or starting on the 1.8 stuff, or whatever. So excited about that. Oh, though, as I said, I do want to get the store versions updated, like the Mac App Store and the Oculus version, and like whichever like official versions of the game are still out there and active. I want to get those updated. I still have there's like if I come in here and look at the logs, there's still too many warnings and things happening. I think I fixed some of these. Yeah, if you look, there's still 534 warnings in the last hour, which is, again, that's compared to the number of requests coming in per second. Like, there's a lot of stuff happening, so that's not terrible, but it's more than I like. So yeah, I'll still be working on kind of getting these down. You'll probably see a bunch of small updates. Like, I've been just doing like minor updates, like releasing minor updates of 1.7. I think it's still 1.7.17 right now, but I've done like 3 different builds of it. So you might get some like redundant updates if you're checking out, the Google Play Store. That's just me kind of tweaking things and like polishing things. Like all these little things, it's not worth like a separate version number. It's just I'm kind of like iterating on 1717. Yeah, Bomb Squad 1.4, it got to like, I forgot what it got up to, but yeah, the number got pretty crazy, like 100 something. I'm guessing, we're already at 1.7.17, so we've already had quite a few minor updates for the 1.7 series, but if I were to guess, I would say we'll probably get up to maybe 1.7. Who knows, like 27 or something. It'll be a little while before 1.8 is, ready. So I'm sure there'll be, a number of just bug fix updates for 1.7's lifetime, but I'm sure we won't get up into 100. Also, you can search my username through Ballistica. I actually don't. I can go into the database and like look up raw. Like you can actually it's kind of interesting to see here. Fire. So the database where all this stuff lives is called Cloud Firestore. These are all the little sections where everything is divided into. So yeah, I can go look up accounts. So these are all the bajillions of accounts. I think account tags. Yeah, we could go through and see like all the account tags people have registered. So technically, like I can dig through the database and look up stuff. I don't have like an easy way to do it right now. That's one of the things I need to add. Because for like admin purposes, that's useful. But like right now, I could go find an account tag. You can see all the people that like all these ridiculous tags, like A666. Okay. Like so many people just put an A at the beginning for no reason. Like this guy, A6R4M1. He decided that should be his name. His account name is 62. Wow, his randomly chosen name almost like matches his actual account ID. Interesting. Oh, Abram. Oh yeah, it's one of those like cool. Oh yeah, Is there a name for? I'm sure there's a name for that. Like the. Oh, you whippersnappers and your fancy letters. Doing like words out of like leet speak or something. Oh, who? Yeah, somebody got all A's. I'm curious who that lucky. Oh yes, this guy. Oh yeah, that was pretty low. So only 11,000 in. Someone went for the all A's. See, now I would feel bad if I switched it, like it's a max 10 characters. If I switched it to like 12 characters, then he wouldn't have the all A's account anymore. Some other guy would get like 12 A's. I think I saw this accidentally. A really impossible score on the first level on hard. Can you remove it? I don't have an easy way to like remove individual scores. Like you can probably. Oh man, I haven't actually looked at the score code in a while. Like I'm trying to remember if that exists on the cloud server. I think it does. I think that gets backed up. I probably, unfortunately, don't have an easy way to remove it at the moment, so you might be stuck with that for now. Arg, pirate speak. Oh no, sorry if you're lagging. I'll throw this on YouTube as always, so you can catch up anything you missed. Not that I'm saying anything super profound. But yeah, I need to that is, yeah, there always is like bookkeeping stuff. I think I've shown some of you like my V1 account. Like this is my super awesome V1 account editor. So this is one of my like test accounts, Zeus. I don't know why I gave myself that name. I think I was just typing random things. But yeah, this is like my eFro Game Center account linked to some random Mac account linked to. We used to have what's called test accounts. Anyone remember this icon? If anyone's been around long enough, there's this like test account icon. But anyway, yeah, this is my V1 account editor. This basically just shows up. This lets me like go through and just like hack with your account data. Shows like recent tournaments you've played, set tickets. This is what gets like, yeah, set banned. You know, a lot of people accidentally get like auto banned. So this is where I come and fix that. I forgot what cleanup does, so I'm not going to press that button. But yeah, so this is my V1 account editor. So I need to make kind of the same thing for the V2 server at some point. So right now, you've all seen this. This is just like my accounts list. This is the closest thing I have is just like, this is the list of most recent registered accounts. It doesn't actually, it's funny, we're getting up pretty high. We're already 294. And this number is actually about 80,000 too low because the first 80,000 accounts, it was actually, this number wasn't going up as fast as it should. They were spread out through like all the A, B, C, D, E, F shards. But anyway, the actual number of accounts out there is like this plus about, maybe 80 or 100. So we're up to about, about four to 500,000 V2 accounts, which is kind of cool. We should do something special for like whoever gets 1 million. Like they should, I don't know, get some sort of cool tag or something. That's what I want to add, like, yeah, like cool things, like pieces of flair, like something you can like use to like decorate your account for doing cool stuff. But yeah, I'm curious who the lucky guy will be that gets account 1 million. Account up to Android 40K. Oh, it was 40K. That's pretty small. Yeah, I don't actually know when that would have been. I mean, there's been a lot of people. I mean, the Android numbers, like if you get a V1 account, Android numbers, they're, I don't know, it's like 50 million or something now, or maybe more than that. And I'm sure a lot of that is like people harvesting accounts or doing nefarious stuff where just like generating random accounts. So that pushes the V1 numbers up pretty high. But yeah, 40,000 or something like that would have been pretty early. So I don't know when that would have been. Check the case. If server has both IPv4 and v6, it should return compatible version to clients. So I did look into this, and basically, yeah, what happens, like I know what's happening there now. It's like when you have a server, like when you host a game, basically what's happening is your game contacts the V1 master server and just says like, hey, I'm hosting, like try to ping me. And so the V1 master server gets your address based on like the message that comes in. So it's just a web server. A message comes in saying like, hey, I'm hosting a game. And so it can get a IPv4 address or it can get an IPv6 address from your connection. And it uses whichever one it gets. So basically like, yeah, if you have a IPv6 internet connection and you host, it will probably host using your IPv6 connection, which is bad though, because then IPv4 people can't connect to it. I'm not sure what the best solution to that is. Like we could tell server owners, like maybe an error message telling server owners like, please disable IPv6 or, because the problem is if the server hears from you and it has an IPv6 address, like it doesn't, I don't think there's a way to just get an IPv4 address from that, right? Because they're completely separate address spaces. So we would have to do something where, when that client messages the server, it would have to like include its IPv4 address. So I'd have to figure out like, is that a thing we could do, or the server owner could specify that like in the server config, like this is the address I want to be reached at. Like that's an option, but that's still kind of hard for people to you know, a lot of people wouldn't know to do that. Oh, interesting. Same server appears twice in list. Yeah, that could be where. I wonder what would cause that. Like maybe if somehow their address is like getting shuffled or something, or if they did that on purpose. Like that could be another thing. I I would wonder, like, is there an easy way on Linux or something to run an app and say, like, hey, I only want this thing to use IPv4, even though I have IPv6 available? Or my thought to maybe the easiest thing here would be like if we have a warning pop up to where, you know, if your server is hosting on IPv6, maybe it would show you a warning like warning, you are hosting on an IPv6 address. Many people won't be able to join your server. You know, just so people would at least be aware that there's a problem. This will all, I mean, this would be good to come up with a solution here. I mean, for now, it's good to just like know that this is a problem, like make sure that, yeah, like if possible, yeah, I guess it's not even really easy to know right now, like what your server address is. But if you have a way of knowing what your server address is, you know, check to see if it's IPv4 because that would be the best. But yeah, in the future, like squads and all that, where it's basically that's all going to be hosted on AWS servers. That's all IPv4 anyway, at least for now. I think you have to explicitly like ask for IPv6 if you want that for AWS. But yeah, like like private party hosting and all that, that's all IPv4. So we shouldn't have connectivity problems there. This is mainly just limited to like people hosting their own servers. But like I said, it would be good to fix that, or at least, you know, have a warning or something telling you that like the address you're using to connect to the master server is IPv6. Therefore, you are hosting on IPv6, and this could be a problem. Because the master server should be able to, like, if it can contact your server via IPv6, it will tell you like, hey, your server is accessible. But what it doesn't tell you is like only accessible with IPv6. Can't someone overflow? Oh, my server, like the master server? Or individual servers. Yeah, I mean that's denial of DDoS or DOS, whatever you call it, denial of service attacks. That is definitely a thing. I mean, people have attacked servers with that sort of stuff already. You know, just overwhelming the server with random like bot connections and stuff. So, I mean, people have written protections against that. Yeah, the game already has like some sort of protections against that. Like I think it ignores addresses that have tried to connect too many times or something like that. We can add more protections if those sort of things happen. I mean, at some point, if someone has a huge botnet army like trying to connect to your one game, like there's, at some point, I don't know like what we can do to stop it. Yeah, like a distributed denial of service attack. Like if, yeah, it's always, you know, we can try to come up with defenses against those things as they happen, but yeah, it's hard to know like what can happen. I mean, my thoughts is like, once again, this kind of comes down to, for me, like the squad system, it'll be less about like publicly known IP addresses, and it'll be more like, I'm going to spin up a server for you on some random AWS server, and then, you know, only give the address to the people that are going to be connecting to it, you know, so like it'll be a lot more kind of secret and dynamic what's going on, so it'll be less like static targets for somebody to attack. So I'm hopeful that'll help. But yeah, in terms of if servers are getting attacked with DDoS attacks right now, like we should try to do something against it. But you know, I was reading like Steam had a library, like or Valve, not Steam. Valve has some sort of library where I guess you can set it up to where like all the network traffic goes through one of their servers or something, and then like they have like this huge massive network to like protect against DDoS attacks. Like somehow, I didn't look into it too closely, but you know, there are sort of systems that you can use to kind of try to protect against things like that. But then that adds complexity, and then all your network traffic has to go through their servers, and you know, it's like there's downsides to that too. Add an option for people to edit textures or change text for people who don't know how to hack code in it. I mean, we'll see how this works with the 1.8 asset package stuff. I mean, probably you'll still kind of need to be a bit of a nerd to do asset packages. Um, it'll be good to keep in mind though, like maybe there's somewhere like some easy way we could have to, just like edit some files to override textures in the game for just people who want to like experiment. Like I'm all for that. Like let's if people want to make mods or like little UIs to, and you should have access to enough of the game source code that we could, like if you come and look at the, like if you dive into the game, not assets, if you dive to like source ballistica, this shouldn't be under like assets, like component and data. There's kind of two different parts to it, but basically like texture data. You should be able to like dive in, and at some point you can see like where this is actually like loading the file from the disk and things like that. We could always insert some little like overload function or something, just like, hey, I want to overload this particular file with something that's in my shared directory, or we could think about like if it would be some easy way to allow people to kind of hack around on the game without having to like be a coder. So yeah, we could think about sticking something in there. I'll keep that in mind as I work on the asset pack stuff for 1.8. But I love that kind of stuff. I think I was telling a story about I used to do that with like Warcraft 2 back in the day. There was people who would make like sound editors, so you could change all the unit things. So when you click a dude, he would say something from a movie or something. My opinion on mods that bypass BS Pro. Like I'm fine with that. I mean, I know it's totally mods can do anything, and I'm not gonna like try to block them from bypassing locks and stuff. I mean, they can't bypass, like you can't. There's certain things mods shouldn't be able to do. Like if there was a mod that lets you like get unlimited tickets like on the master server or something, like that's something I need to fix because that should be in my control. But yeah, like mods that unlock features locally, like I can't. You can't like I can't control people's devices. People are going to be able to hack and do what they want with their own stuff, and so I'm for it. I'm all yeah, it doesn't bother me. I mean, I think we've all, maybe not all of us, but I've hacked plenty of games in the past, or used cheats to unlock games, things like that. It's like it's as long as some people are watching ads or paying for the game, and I'm able to pay my rent, I'm happy. Or yeah, like editing playlists and things like that. Like as I said, I do feel bad that some of that stuff is kind of paywalled, like playlist editing. So yeah, feel free. I mean, it almost benefits me. Like if you want to use a mod or a hack to like unlock that stuff, like that's kind of people are learning how to mod and hack stuff that way anyway, which I think is good for the game. So yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it's definitely. I'm not like taking offense or anything like that. And yeah, I I understand too. Like you don't have money to throw at the game or anything like that. I've been in that boat. Like poor art student. You know, kind of pirating software, things like that, just because it didn't have a bajillion dollars to pay for it. Not allowing devices to play online because it's not updated. This might become more of a thing with like the squad system. We'll see. Like, I would kind of like to be able to enforce people playing squads to like be using a more recent version, partly just so I can change it faster and know that everyone is like seeing those changes. But I want to balance that. I don't want to. It's interesting. Like if I go back to Google Play, like signing in to see like the version of the games people are using. Go to Bomb Squad. Statistics. So taking a look at statistics here. Let's go to last 365 days. So interestingly, the game's numbers, they peaked about July. They've been like going down a little bit since then. Like they generally like kind of go up and down and up and down. Okay, so if we flip this to app version and Oh, this is not showing too many versions. Let's see. Even last 180 days. Which version is this? That's 1713. Let's add a few more here. 10 selected. Okay. So yeah, here you can see like the versions over the last 180 days. And you can kind of see like this version here is what? That's 1.7.6. But you can see when a version comes out, it takes quite a while for it to start to be like most players. And even here, like even at its peak, it still is only like 3/4 of the players, and that's after several months. So there's always like a lot of people. Then a new version comes out, and it takes a little while to build up. New version comes out, new version comes out. But you can see like on all of these, like they don't get up to like the whole player base very quickly. You know, it's like after one, like this one, what version is this? 1.6.4. You can see like after a year or however long I was working on 1.7, it finally got up to, you know, being most of the player base. Like this black is like the total. So like pretty much everyone was on 1.6.4 after like a year. But in general, it takes quite a while for new versions of the game to like saturate. So I don't want to be the reason I'm saying that is I just don't want to be too forceful and forcing people to, you know, have the latest version, just because that means like all these players aren't going to be able to play the game then. But yeah, this is interesting to see like all these graphs. Another Android version is interesting too. It's kind of, you know, Android always has the reputation of like a lot of people are playing on like older versions of Android. So you can kind of see that here a little bit. Let's do, like for this one, I always do all time. So you can see like each of these little waves, like Android updates once per year. So this is Android 9 peaked, you know, a few years ago. And then here's Android 10, and then Android 11, and Android 12. It looks like it's peaking right now. Android 13, are we showing 13? No, I don't think 13 is even on here. Let's just, yeah, bring a few more of these in here. Boink, boink. Where's the rest of my graph? Bad Google. Oh, weird. It like can't draw the whole graph if I have it all shown. That's fascinating. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So you can see Android 12 is almost peaked. Android 13 should start to be climbing up. It looks like about, what time is it? January 6th. So it seems like maybe everyone gets like a new Android phone for Christmas, and then like the numbers start growing up, because it seems like this is January 11th, 2021. That's when Android 11 started growing. January of last year, Android 12 started growing. So I'm assuming in the next few weeks, Android 13 will start growing. But it's fascinating to see like even any of these versions, it's still like such a small percentage compared to like all the Android users out there. So it's like even when this peaked, it's still only like 1/3 of the market. So there's a lot of Android versions. There will be in 1.8 there will probably, it's complicated, but basically people that will be able to, the idea is people will probably be able to host using the old like scene version. That's part of the thing, is like there's going to be what's called scene versions, which means like you'll probably be able to like host using the old scene version, which is essentially the game as it is now, and you'll also be able to host using the new scene version. Like here we go again, another V2. This will probably be like scene V2. But the scene V2 will be the one that supports like the new features like asset downloading and things like that. So, and that will mean like anyone that wants to join that server will have to be running 1.8 or newer. So there will be some like cutoff. but they still should be able to host old servers that are compatible with old versions of the game way back to like 1.4. So there'll be a little bit more kind of strictness once it gets to that point. Like certain servers, you'll have to update to 1.8 to get access to those servers. I just want to be careful. I don't want to like force everyone to update constantly, to keep playing the game. I don't. I feel like that would start to cut people off too much, maybe. But we'll see. I mean, it maybe that would be worth it for other reasons. Yeah, well, Bomb Squad like 2.0 is the plan for 2.0 is basically 2.0 is not like anything new. 2.0 is simply going to be like a relaunch of the game, basically like taking all the features that have been added in 1.8 and 1.9 and then just like releasing the game on Steam officially and releasing the game on like iOS officially. So I'm expecting that to be a lot of new players and kind of a bit I mean, who knows how big that'll be, but I'm expecting it to probably be a lot of stress on the system and stuff like that. So that's why I just want to make sure everything is working very well. If we get everything working nicely and very solid and make sure the master server can handle anything in like 1.9, then we launch 2.0 and yeah, see what happens. So that'll be fun. But yeah, there's not really, if you look at like the roadmap, there's not any like official stuff for 2.0 aside from like those new platforms. It's more just like taking everything and releasing it to the world. And yeah, 2.1, I'm not even thinking about beyond 2.0 for now, but at some point we'll get there. We're already going to be starting on 1.8 now. That's a lot closer to 2.0 than it is to 1.0. But some of the stuff, I mean, the main feature in 1.9 is like the squad system, and as I said, I would like to kind of get that started even now, just to start like experimenting with it and playing with it, because I think stuff like that, it's nice to like let it bake for a while, or just play with it and see how it feels and revise it. And I think stuff like that works better if you have a little time to like let it breathe than to just like try to slap it all together in like one release and dump it on the world and have bajillions of people using it. Like that seems scary. In general, game launches are scary. You see that happen so often with like a big game will launch and there's like a total server meltdown like the first weekend or something. So I definitely, because I'm only one person, I I want to be extra careful about avoiding that. Oh yeah, still have the character sculptures. I have some of them. Oh yeah, here's up back on my shelf here. I could just disconnect the camera, but like here's Bernard. Say hello. Hello. And I have Frosty back there and Bernard. But yeah, imagine server overload when I'm sleeping. Yeah, that's why I want to be very careful that that sort of thing doesn't happen. Because yeah, that would be like the worst. I mean, I suppose. I mean, if I do an official like 1 day launch of like 2.0 and if it got like featured on Steam and iOS or maybe even Google, who knows? Like if there's millions and millions of users suddenly, like I don't know. I imagine maybe I shouldn't sleep too much for a day or two, or just take small naps, because I'm sure there would be like little fires to put out and things. It would be fun, but yeah. Pascal, unfortunately, Pascal no longer exists, sadly. He's been smushed back into clay and reused for other sculptures. As have most of the characters were. If I could go back and do it again, I would have just bought more clay and kept all the characters, because that would have been cool, but yeah, most of them are smushed. Yeah. PC game. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if there's any ad networks for PC. I don't think the PC I don't think any of the non-mobile versions will have ads. So it's like that's part of the reason I kind of want to make the game work well without ads, like lean more on like in-app purchases and less on ads. But right now, ads is like it's about half my income, so I don't want to like abandon that. I don't want to take a 50% pay cut. Yeah. Well, for Mini Penguin, we keep talking about Mini Penguin. I will definitely sculpt a new penguin for Mini Penguin. He shouldn't just reuse like Pascal because he needs like a bigger head. He's got to look a little different if he's mini. But yeah, rest in peace, Pascal. That will be 2.1. That's the sole feature of 2.1 is Mini Pascal. I have to force myself to. I keep, we're talking about stuff or like I have ideas like, oh, that'd be so cool to add. And I keep wanting to like add stuff like, oh, I could add that at 1.9 or I could add that in 1.8. But it's like, I have to remember like everything I add is going to delay 2.0. And people have been waiting for so long anyway. I really should not add more features than I need to. Plushies merch. Plushies would be awesome. I should look into. I'm sure there's companies out there where you can like set them up to make plushies. Like I'd totally get some plushies. But yeah, yeah, I'll have to check on the merch stuff. I haven't checked on it lately. Like I checked after the first day or two, and it was like no one had bought anything, and then I realized that the page was admin only. So I was like, oh, that explains it. I don't know if anyone's bought any shirts or anything, just because, like I said, most of the big countries where people are playing the game like don't have access to it, which sucks. But yeah, maybe there's other services that I could. Some of us were talking about this in one of the chats. Like maybe there's other services in other countries I could start to use for letting people get some cool T-shirts and hoodies. Actually, I do want to make the hoodie. Like the Amazon stuff, you can make hoodies. So I want to make a hoodie with maybe like the Bomb Squad logo on the front and maybe just like the bomb logo on the back, or like Bomb Squad like the word on the front and then like the bomb logo on the back. I think that could be kind of cool. What version am I on? Like we are still. I mean, version of the game we were technically 1.7.17. So, and 1.7 is basically feature complete now. So technically we could move on to 1.8, but what I'll probably keep doing is, as long as I can, I'll leave it at 1.7. Any features I'm adding that I can still add on 1.7, I'll do it. So I'll probably start working on some of like the 1.8 features while it's still 1.7. I'll flip it over to 1.8 whenever we have to like break compatibility. Like whenever I have to like increment the API version or something that's gonna like really mess with modders. That's probably when I'll flip it to 1.8. 1.7.18, I am sure that will probably just be bug fixes. So, at some point I feel bad. I owe you all. There's a bunch of pull requests still sitting in GitHub. I still need to pull those in. So maybe that'll be in 1.7.18. So you might have like a cool new server ping option here. That's one of the pull requests. So that just like shows you your current ping with the current server, which is very cool. Yeah, the Play Store app, the beta. I mean, the betas are still going out. They haven't been. Basically, I've just been, for like these last few updates, I've been pushing the beta out at the same time I push like the official version out. So like they haven't been really like special or early or anything like that. They are more so like the earlier versions of 1.7. I was kind of leaning on those betas a little bit more just because I didn't want to break things for the entire population. But now that the changes are more like small and it's more like bug fixes, I'm just like, just give it to everyone. It won't break that badly. So yeah, any last questions? Otherwise, yeah, I'd say we should hop in a game. Let's play a game. So my plan for this week is more just bug fixing, like all those warnings I was showing you on the master server. Like I want to get rid of those. I want to make sure the game is just working as well as it can, and people are not sending too many updates, and just reconnecting to the nearest server as quickly as possible, stuff like that. So Just like it's feature complete now. I just want to make it like smooth. So yeah, it'll be pretty much. I'm currently waiting. Let me see if I'm still waiting. Let me check real quick. There was an update last night which fixed a few things. Yeah, if I can type. But I think it's still in review. Yes. Brr. In review. Boo. It's still like very unpredictable. I released one update yesterday, like a minor update, and it like went through review in like an hour or less. It was literally like available to everybody. But then I released another minor update like a few hours later, and it's been in review for like 15 hours now or something. So I don't know what happens there. So, okay, name is Infinity Players. Let's see. Okay, make sure my... Oh, ping of 87. Whoa. What? It's cool seeing like what people can do like with the existing assets. I was gonna say these look like different models or something, but it's actually just the regular ones. Getting a little bit of lag here, but that's probably my fault. So how's this work? What? No! Oh, someone's got the Taobao mascot. Dang it. Oh geez, oh geez. Mr. Pengu, you're just standing. Oh no, so close. It's funny, these hockey matches, like sometimes they're like 10 seconds and then sometimes it's just like this stalemate that goes on for like 20 minutes. Oh no, no. So close. Alright, see you, programmer. Oh my god. Oh no, 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 no! Oh! Oh! Dang it. Well fought, well fought. Okay, so how does this volleyball work? Let's... I'm curious, like, this weird, like, super speed, like, how that works. Definitely need some practice on that one. Basketball? What? What are all these, all those circles? Like, things are made out of just, like, bajillions of circles. It's hilarious. Oh, that's cool, though. Yeah, a lot of people have asked for basketball. Oh no. It's tricky with, or a little bit tricky with like the 3D aspect. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see, like, to judge. I'm sure you'd get used to it, like where, since you're dealing with like 3D space instead of 2. One thought I had that could be fun is like a 2D version of basketball, you know, like Happy Thoughts mode, where it's just like the side view, but it's also like basketball or something. Where oh no. Nice. All right. Oh, it's interesting. The cool, like the bomb radiuses. I haven't seen that. I guess it's more than just bomb radiuses. It's drawing like just people too. Oh no! No! Oh, dang it. Yeah, add basketball to 2.0. That would probably, well, that might be like a 2.1 thing. It's one of those things where like that would be super cool to add, but it's also like, it would slow down getting to 2.0. Ah, oh no. Cool. Good game, guys. So, heard of bomb jump? Yes, I have. All right. Well, you should all do a free for all. I'm probably gonna head out though. But yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I've heard of bomb jump. I'm not like. I'd love to see like a video or see someone like demonstrating like awesome bomb jumps or something. But yeah, it's not something that I've gotten good at. I know I've mentioned this a lot, but it's funny to you know, see the strategies that people come up with. You know, things like bomb jumps and stuff that like I didn't really design in there. It's just people kind of, you know, like learn to use the physics to do cool things. So anyway, on that note, I think I'm going to wrap up for today. We're getting close to the 2-hour mark. So that's been trying to keep it at that. The last few times have been like, you know, 2.5 hours or creeping over 2 hours, and then it winds up taking like forever for YouTube to, you know, compress the HD version of the video. Plugin Smoothie made to learn tricks. Oh, cool. I was thinking that, on a side note, that made me think where, you know, for like squads mode, like there may be a situation where like if you're entering some sort of tournament or something, you know, and it's like waiting for people to join, it might need to like put you in like lobbies or waiting rooms or something just while you're, you know how it works with like battle royale games, you know, where it's like you're just running around waiting for people to join. I was wondering like what could be fun for those situations, some sort of, you know, like little practice areas or something, just like, you know, see who can do the best bomb jump, or like see who can throw the bomb the farthest, or just like do the strongest punch. Just something like teaching people like the concepts of the game in some little kind of entertaining way while they're waiting for people to join or something. So just something to think about. But anyway, everyone have a good week, and I'm going to be heading out for the holidays actually, so I'll probably not be able to do Coffee with Eric for the next probably week or two. So we'll be back probably early January. I'll keep you all posted, but yeah, definitely next week I'll be traveling for Christmas and everything. But yeah, I'll keep you updated, and then we'll get going again in a few weeks for the new year. So if any of you celebrating any holidays coming up, so happy holidays to you all. Merry Christmas or Hanukkah or anything else. And if not, have an awesome week or next few weeks. And I will see all of you folks later. I'll still be lurking on the Discord server, but yeah, it'll just be a few weeks for the next stream. So see you all later. Peace out.